Okay, so take two. Hope my microphone's on this time. Hello, it's Lisa Turner from Psychademy, coming to you live from Cornwall. Lots and lots of people have been asking questions about what's the spiritual message of this coronavirus COVID-19 thing. So the first thing I want to ask of you is if you know, so in a moment, I'm actually going to share with you how you can get access to our really, really powerful emotional release process called SET, Conscious Emotional Transformation. And so my invitation is to tag someone in this if you know that they would benefit from this video, and also invite them. I'm going to tell you exactly what to do in a minute. Share this and invite people to so that you can pass this on. So I'll start making sense in a minute. Okay, so what is really going on? We've had a ton of questions. So the first thing is I'm going to ask all of these questions in a special Facebook group that we have just opened up, which is also where you can get access to our emotional release technique. Hey, loads of people are here. Welcome. So I'm going to explain to you what's really going on and why we've decided to do this really what we hope is a really empowering and powerful thing by just gifting our most powerful spiritual technology away. So at this moment, and this, by the way, this moment is what I've been calling our spiritual tipping point, and I've been predicting this. I'm feeling quite silently well, I'd say smug, but I'm not smug, obviously. It's like silently, like this is what I knew was happening. I've been talking about this for nearly over a decade. So here's what's happening. We're at what we call, so it's a bifurcation point or a spiritual tipping point. When any system evolves, it evolves and increases in its complexity until it gets to a level of complexity where it can no longer sustain and support itself. And at that point, one of two things happens. Either, so I'm looking at all the comments, hey. So it either evolves to a higher level of order or it actually breaks down. And I actually think that both are likely to happen, but for different groups of people. So I'm going to explain some of this, but some of the really edgy stuff I'm going to leave to a group. Now, if you want to join this group, in this group, I'm going to gift you our emotional release process, Conscious Emotional Transformation. And so you just get normally, this is normally something we do in our coaching and we charge, quite a lot of money for, but we're going to gift this to you. And it's the most powerful emotional release process on the planet. And it's a complete paradigm shift in how emotions work and how we release them. Because we don't actually release emotions. There's only one emotion, and it's the emotion of love. And everything else is a resistance to love. And when you release the resistance, love flows. So what you feel as a resistance right now, we're in where a lot of people are experiencing pain. It's actually resistance to transformation. So let's talk about what's happening. So when any system evolves, it increases in complexity until it gets to a level of order that it can no longer sustain itself. So and at that point, it either evolves to a higher level of order and streamlined and sophistication and elegance, or it kind of breaks down and the system no longer functions. Society, for quite some time, hasn't worked, and we've only been maintaining it by kind of putting patches over things and creating more legislation and creating more rules and things like this. So and it doesn't work. It doesn't work for old people. It doesn't work for schools. It doesn't work for children. It doesn't work for families. It doesn't work for parents. It certainly doesn't work for the environment and the planet. And we've been in this place where in order to live in society, we've had to conform and behave in a way that actually damages ourselves, damages our connection to each other, damages our connection to nature. So then we've had groups of people try and break out of society and go and live the kind of off-grid life. And then they find that the only way they can do that is because it's still maintained by society in some way. It's really not easy to be totally off-grid. It's really not easy. And so then they either get dragged back in or then they feel very isolated. And some people make it work, but the very rare few. And that's still not available for most people. Yeah. So, so where we are now is, so some people have tried to go back to an earlier time of more simplicity, but that doesn't work. So where we are now is we're faced with, it's like they've got these two polarities, and I actually think that we're not going to go to either. So you'll hear these two narratives. One is we're all going to die and society is going to break down. We're not all going to die, because obviously if we all die, there is no society, so that's not going to happen. So, you know, lots of people are going to die, society's going to break down, and we're going to go back to some pre-technological, pre-industrial age. And it's going to be brutal, it's going to be ugly, it's going to be, you know, like this post-apocalyptic, that's easy for you to say, you know, like the post-apocalyptic movies that we've seen so much of. That's not what's going to happen. Then there's the other group that somehow they kind of believe that if we just love each other enough and we all spiritually awaken and by magic we all just say om enough and ooh enough or whatever, then we'll all be happy and love each other, and then we'll all be, you know, live in this place of like no technology, but it all works by magic. That's not going to happen, because neither of these are realistic or based on where we are as a species. Like, we can't go back to the pre-industrial age, the pre-technological age, because we've already gone beyond that. Now, what I do think is going to happen, and my, you know, this is my future visioning that I've been seeing for quite a while, is that we move either into, so I think there'll be going to be two groups of society. There are those, so Lisa Jenkins, darling, don't be, if you're scared and it's worrying you, post hashtag reset 2020 and we'll send you an invitation to our new Facebook group. And that's where you can get our emotional release technique, because release the fear, release the worry. There's the scared, fear, worry. Let's release that so we can evolve to a higher level of order. Because here's what's going to happen, I think there are going to be those who are really rejecting technology, and they're saying, look, technology has brought us here and it's ruining the environment, it's ruining society. And actually, right now where we are with this virus epidemic, we're being told to isolate ourselves. Who are those who are truly isolated? Those who aren't able to or choose not to harness the power of technology. Technology, like what we're doing now with our Facebooks, like what we do in all of our, like we've had a virtual team for years. We don't have an office. We've never had an office. People are only just kind of getting around to thinking, actually, maybe this is, you know, maybe this is a good way of working. Maybe this is a normal way of working. So there's going to be two groups, I think, and you get to choose which one you're in. Right. So my invitation is join us in our Facebook group by posting hashtag reset 2020, set with a C, C-E-T. It's right at the top of this thing, and I'll post it in the groups there. Reset with a C, reset with a C, reset with a C. So RECET 2020. So post that and we'll invite you to our group. So two groups of society. What's it going to look like? So there'll be those who reject technology and reject growth, and they go into a place of fear, a place of lack, and they try and shrink back. And that's where it becomes quite, you know, that's where you have the riots in the supermarket over friggin' toilet paper, right? That is a potential that those group go into the kind of they surrender to the fear, or we ascend out of that and we create a group of people, a group of society, a new society that is where we've moved beyond the fear. We feel it. Yeah, it's scary. There have been times when I've been really friggin' scared. And then I use set to release it and go, what do I need to do? What's the action I need to take? So then we're going to move into the other group who harness technology, use it to stay connected, to be connected. So here's what's on offer. I know lots of you have had lots and lots of really deep, powerful questions about this coronavirus thing and what's really going on. I am going to start answering those in that Facebook group, and I'm going to gift our emotional release technology. But here's my request for you. Pay it forward. We're going to give this to you completely free for a limited time. And my invitation is, can you pay it forward? So share the link to the group so that other people, that's all we ask, pay it forward so that even more people can get access to SET. Okay, so either send them the link to the group, which we'll post when my team are actually setting the group up right now. And in fact, Joe will post that as soon as that group is ready to go, or just tag them in this Facebook, in this live, or share this live with them, or just privately share this live with them if you don't want to. I know some people don't want to always do it publicly. I respect that. So in that Facebook group, I'm going to give you access to SET. Now, it's actually not quite ready. I'm re-recording all the videos. I was up to 1 o'clock in the morning last night rendering videos and re-recording them. It'll be ready in about 5 days, but the group is there now where we can start creating this empowerment, safe vortex. So let's move out of a fear vortex where it goes down, and let's spin it up. Be part of those individuals who move into creating a new, powerful, loving, awakened society. Because, as I said, we're not going to go back to that brutal, apocalyptic realm. We're not going to go into this Pollyanna. We just think happy thoughts enough and then it'll all be fine. No, let's be the group that release the fear and take action so that we all can help each other. So the first piece of action to take is SET will be activated for you when you're in the group. And the other agreement is we ask you not to use the process by saying the script as if you're a practitioner. So you can gift them the process by passing it on, by getting them in the group. That's how you can pass it on. If you want to learn how to use it, we'll have a conversation about that if that's appropriate. So let me explain a little bit about SET and how it works. So it works on the basis that there is only one emotion, and that's the emotion of love. And everything else is a resistance to love. And when you feel a negative emotion, so what happens is your neurology, your energy body is completely like a conduit of energy that could flow, of love energy that could flow through your entire being. But something happens and you create a resistance, and the energy tries to flow, but it hits that resistance, and what you feel is that resistance. So what happens is you get an energy build up on this side of the resistance, and then on the other side you get an energy depletion, and you feel that difference. Now, what a lot of emotional release techniques work on is they release the built up energy, or they increase the energy on this side, but it doesn't actually remove the resistance. And what we do is we remove the resistance so that your love energy can flow. It can flow throughout your entire being and to other people, and you can receive it freely from other people. And that's the new world order. Gosh, I sound like, I don't know what I sound like. But I hope this sounds exciting to you. So Reset 2020, if you post that, we'll send you a message. I don't know how the tech works. My team does that. Notice I don't know how it works, but I use it, okay? And I have people who do it. So we're going to create this empowerment vortex in this Facebook group where we're going to answer lots of really edgy questions, some really edgy questions. So this is a time where we're going to be moving to a whole new way of being. We're going to create an empowered, loving, connected society that uses technology, that isn't abused by technology. Because here's the other thing. I think there might well be two groups of individuals, groups of people, two collectives. One who use technology and control it and use it and harness it to create change and power in their life. And there'll be another group who are controlled by technology. Don't be in the other group. Join us in Reset 2020. So if you like this video, click the love button, because Facebook ignore likes now. Click the love button. If you really like it, share it. If you think someone else would benefit from this, tag them in this or share it, or share this around. Let's create this change. Let's move out of that place of, people are afraid. And this is a primordial fear, right? It's the fear of death. Let's face it. A virus that has a high mortality rate, it's the fear of death. So the reason, but here's the thing, most people aren't really afraid of dying. They're afraid of never living fully. And when you know you are living fully and you are the fullest expression of your divine self, there is nothing to fear. When you are the fullest expression of your divine self, there is nothing to fear. You don't fear death and you don't fear life. And nor do you fear, much as you might not choose it and might not want it. So, if you think about, these are the fears that we've got, these 5 fears that are present. So first of all, we've got fear of death, fear of death of a loved one, fear of loss of money with the economic interesting stuff that's going on, fear of separation and isolation, and fear of just not having enough, like the supply chain break, fear of society breaking down. So we have these 5 fears, and the primordial one is fear of death, but people don't really fear death. They fear never living. So let's post reset with a C, reset 2020 hashtag. And if you can just put that, if you put anything else in the post, the system, it doesn't work so much. So it's hashtag RECET 2020. If you post that with nothing else, then you'll get a message, and we will invite you to the Facebook group as soon as that's open. Then we'll gift you set as soon as that's ready, which will be as soon as I get off this, and I'm going to go head over and complete the recordings. In fact, we might even give you access to it, because there'll be stuff you can watch straight away before you even get access to the process. In fact, we might even do that. Well, actually, I won't promise that, because my team are not ready with that in the back end, but they will be. So, and I know we had lots of questions about, so what were some of the questions we had? How can I assist helping reduce the anxiety? Kerry, by sharing this. Share this and tag this. That's how we can reduce the anxiety. Anxiety is just the negative emotion of fear. Let's release that with set. Is there something more than what the government is letting on? Possibly. I'll share that in the group at some point. What else have we got? Are these global tragedies part of the awakening? Yeah, they are. And I've explained a little bit about that. Some people would, Debbie said, like some insight from the spheres, which are some energy beings I tend sometimes communicate. Researching regard, she says, is this the chaos before the calm? I actually think there's more to it than that, and I'll share that in the group. I will, I promise. Promise, my darlings. So what do we got? Love the 2 groups of people. I've always been very conscious of my use of becoming excessive. However, you've just made it make sense. I've always used it for our benefit. Yeah. And here's the other little piece I will share. We're coming out of a time like we can no longer, we've been in a time of overconsumption. One of the biggest things that goes into landfill is wasted food. And then, it's like, and then half the population are starving. It's like, what the heck? It's not half the population, but people are starving, and we're having a problem with disposing of wasted food. Okay. Doesn't make any sense. Right. So what we've had is, and then we've had this time of, spirituality. And a lot of people have said, well, I'm spiritual because I'm going on an ayahuasca thing in Peru, and I'm going to spend 6 weeks in Bali meditating, and I'm going to go on my yoga retreat. And it's like, we in Psychademy, we've always worked differently. And one of the flagship programs we operate is our spiritual practitioner training. And those words, spiritual practitioner, we use those words because it's not about being a therapist or a coach, but you can be with this. It's about a spiritual practitioner is someone who practices spirituality in their daily work and life. And this is where we can't escape anymore. There's going to be nowhere to hide. So make sure the thing that people see is your higher self. And that's where the rubber hits the road, with where we practice our spirituality in our daily work and life. This is where we move into the group of individuals who are going to ascend, awaken, and then we're going to support the others, right? But some of us are going to say, let's go first. I've been talking for a while about spiritual leaders, about now is the time for spiritual people to step into this place of leadership where we say, we're going first. So go first by joining together with us in this group where we can do that. Lisa Anna says, it's not letting me watch anyone else having Safari error message. Oh, okay. I don't know what's going on there. Interesting. Anyway, SET, that stands for Conscious Emotional Transformation. I'll explain way more about that process in that Facebook group, and we'll give you access to the videos that explain the process in full detail and access to that emotional release process. What SET does is it enables you to completely release all of your negative emotions like anger, sadness, fear, hurt, and guilt, and limiting decisions from the past, but it actually doesn't release the emotions. What it does is it releases resistance to love, and what you feel as a negative emotion is where there's a boundary, a block in your energy system that creates a resistance to love. So when we remove the resistance, love just flows. What you feel is the resistance. And this is why it's completely different to all other energy healing modalities that I know of that are out there. This one actually works. So Pooja, when I talk about being a spiritual practitioner, what I'm talking about is being on our certified spiritual practitioner course. And that's when you can actually when you can do SET with clients. So that's what I'm talking about there. And you may be a spiritual practitioner in that you are practicing it. So in your daily work and life. So let's live it. But we have our course is a certified spiritual practitioner where you can actually do SET. Just a little caveat with all of this. Being in the Facebook group, having access to SET, you will have it for your personal use only. If you want somebody else to have access to it, bring them into the group. So that they need to be in the group. They need to have, SET only works when it's activated. So there's a process that by getting you into the group, activates it. That's also where I'm going to be answering your questions and stuff like that. So great questions, everyone. Oh, everyone's saying they love it. So share, pass this on, tag people, like it, and then share it, and then share it some more. So the deal is join the group and invite somebody else to the group, or invite someone else to this. Till next time, I love you lots, love you hugely. Stay in the love, stay in the light, stay grounded, keep it real. Love you guys. Bye for now.